Hello and welcome to the Rock Your Voice podcast. Vocal coaching tips that will transform your voice, interviews that will inspire, industry guidance, and so much more. Without further ado, let's get on with the show. Hello. Today this might be a bit of a spicy one. I might go on a few different tangents. We might get into a bit of sort of the manifestation side of things, but I want to look at some very hard truths and facts because today, even the topic of today's episode is pretty hardcore. It's like, are you in the way of your own success? If you have not yet read the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, I highly recommend it. It is full of very eye-opening things and some brilliant takeaways that can really help you level up, not just in your career, but in your life in general. The biggest thing he talks about is having upper level limiting. So I'm going to talk a bit about why that happens and how it shows up in relation to a musical career. If you are an emerging artist, if you are an established artist, if you are just thinking about going to your first voice lesson, why the brain naturally tells you this is a terrifying thing to do, why you should sort of stop in your tracks and be like, whoa, this is okay. So I'm going to run through a few of my notes here, so bear with me if I seem to be kind of reading to the side, but I just want to make sure that I cover all of this for you because it really can help you absolutely shatter some ceilings, change the game entirely, and you might look back and think, I have been working so hard, I have been doing everything, I have been doing whatever is put in my way, I am taking opportunities, I am doing all of the right things, why is this not working? And I hate to say it, but some of it might be to do with you and your approach, your thought process, how you feel about yourself, your music, your how much success you actually deserve. So we're going to go into like the emotional side of things, the neuroscience side of things, a little bit of the woo-woo side of things with the manifesting and all of that. So I want you to come into this episode with a very open mind and take what you will, leave what you don't care to hear. That's absolutely fine. And as always, like, I want to open this up as a conversation. So please feel free to reach out on social at Rocket Vocal Studios. That's ROCKIT Vocal Studios. I'd love to continue this conversation because I want to see you succeed, and sometimes you have to hear the hard truths to be able to do that. So so yeah, we're going to kind of look at why your brain fears your big break. And although you have been telling yourself you want this, you want this, you want this, the human brain is wired in a certain way that change is scary. Your brain is wired to keep you alive and safe. So let's look back into caveman times. Going for a walk to go explore that area over there, although it might seem nice to have a bit of a change of scene, was probably not the smart thing to do because you'll probably get eaten by a lion. Therefore, it goes back to creation of man that our brain tells us exploring new things, challenging yourself, new horizons, doing all of this wild and crazy stuff can be very, very dangerous. So as artists, we're always saying we want to level up, we want to record the album, we want to commit to the training, book bigger shows. And sometimes even like the thought of saying, I want to book a bigger show. You might get a physical reaction to that. You might feel something in your stomach, or your shoulders might tense up, or your jaw, or your heart rate might speed up. Just the thought of a bigger venue, a bigger show, and all of the things that entails. That might include you need more of a bigger tech crew. Suddenly your sound situation has changed. You might need front of house. You might need in-ear monitors. You might need all of these different things that maybe are not currently what you're using. So the brain is going to freak out. And before you've even sort of sat down and rationally looked at this and gone, okay, this is intimidating. Of course it's intimidating. It's new. It's a big deal and it's scary. Your brain is going, no, danger, danger, danger. Don't go there. So subconsciously, you may have already told yourself, yeah, I'm not ready for a big show. So it's important to acknowledge the neuroscience behind what's happening if you are what Gay Hendricks calls upper level limiting. And this is what stops you, and to sort of paraphrase and say kind of his theory, probably very, very roughly, but you kind of have a zone of genius, which is when you're in that moment of like, this is flow, this feels effortless, this feels easy, this is your thing. So that could be your moment on stage, could be your zone of genius, it could be songwriting, but for some reason our brain will freak out and be like, no, you shouldn't be in that zone of genius all the time, because we need to stay in the comfort level, which is challenge and stress and full-time job and paying the bills and reality that we are trained into and that we are used to. So keep all of this in mind whenever you get that little spark of enthusiasm and you want to go for something, and then you get that little ding 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 on your shoulder going, no, danger, don't do that, you're not worthy, you won't be able to handle it, you won't be able to manage it, stay back, whoa. So be aware that that is natural, that is normal, that is neuroscience and the human body trying to protect you from being eaten by the lion. And sit down, think rational, and make a plan. And I can help you with that with my emerging artist program. So yeah, reach out if you want to dig into that sort of stuff, but keep all of this in mind. So willpower and the music industry are two completely different things. So, you know, we're thinking about discipline, hustle, motivation being the keys to making it in the industry. Yes, you have to be resilient. You have to be able to hear no 1,000 times. You have to get up on that stage as much as you can. Keep writing terrible songs until you write the amazing hit. You have to keep doing this. So remembering that your brain is seeking safety and not success. And this is why artists will stay in that comfort zone. That's why they won't reach out to do collaborations or co-writes. That's why they don't get on the plane and move to Nashville and say, screw it, I'm doing it. This is it. So staying with like, oh, I have a really nice cushy Thursday night gig at the wine bar, and that's what I do every Thursday, and it pays the bills, and this is great. Delaying releases. Okay, the production's not quite how I want it. I want to tweak that one note or that one filter or that one sound. Like, go over it. Be aware of procrastination. Be aware of, there is nothing wrong with being a perfectionist. There is nothing wrong with creating your masterpiece. See the Beach Boys for details. But on the flip side, I want to mention another artist, a local guy here, Dempsey Bolton. He is a phenomenal producer. And I'm sure he sits up for 3 days in a row going over his mixes and all of that kind of stuff, making it sound how he wants it to sound. But he doesn't hold on to stuff for an eternity and release one song every 20 years. He is creating and he's consistently releasing and he's doing it, and his career is moving forward and he is growing as an artist. But still his benchmark remains very high. So there's not like, just be aware. Do you have a very high standard of what you want to release, or are you procrastinating? Are you scared? Are you upper level limiting? Are you like, if I release this, worst case scenario, this song blows up and my whole life might change? And for many of you, that is a dream that is equally as terrifying. It's a hard truth, but I want you to really think about that. What happens when everything changes? You might have to move house. You might have to live on a tour bus for the next 2 years. You might have to go to strange countries. You might have to eat weird food. You might have to be in places where you don't speak the language. You might have to go meet hundreds and hundreds of strangers who are, you know, in this industry. Not everyone's really lovely. This is all very much, don't go outside of the cave and don't get eaten by the lion. So just remember, these are challenges, these are changes, this is going to put you in strange and scary positions, but it might be exactly what you've been dreaming of. Is it what you've been dreaming of? If not, maybe it's time for a little bit of a reevaluation. And this is also a lot of times why some of the world's best songwriters, you do not know what they look like. They don't leave their cave. I mean, that's not to say that they've left their cave, they've done their thing, they've committed to their art, they've done their stuff. But some people don't necessarily want to be on a tour bus traveling the world. They want to create their art. That is their zone of genius. And then someone else who loves getting on the buses, getting on the planes, traveling the world, doing the studio, the radio, all of that stuff. That's the person who takes their song out beyond the cave and risks bumping into the lions. So there are many other avenues in the music industry that you can find your space where you can be at your zone of genius, but you can also feel very safe, very comfortable. But be aware, safety and comfort sometimes are, again, those limiting things that are holding you back from your success. Now, I'm not saying go do something wild and crazy and insane and dangerous. I'm just saying be brave, make the connections, step outside of your comfort zone, put the song out, do the Instagram reel, do the things that are scaring you, because that's where your growth is. And you need to be out there to find your fans and your followers. You're not going to build a following. People aren't going to show up to your show if you release a song every 10 years and that's it. They know the one song, or they've never seen you online and don't know who you are or anything. So yeah, this one might get spicy. I am loading up on my coffee this morning because I know this is going to go in many different directions. But one big thing is you can rewire your brain to push through the fear. So there's a lot of neuroscience behind it, but like repetition, that's why I always say practice makes permanent, because repetition can rewire things and your brain can start to get used to it and expect those outcomes. You do one thing the same way every day. Like if you're an amazing human that gets up and goes to the gym every morning, your body is used to that, your brain is used to that. That's the routine, that's what we do. The gym is not scary. The gym is a safe place where we do fun things and get stronger and healthier. So whether that's vocal practice every day, your voice, your brain, your body is used to this routine, this practice. Whether it's meeting with a voice coach, the first time you met with a voice coach was probably terrifying. I've met so many people who come into their very first lesson who absolutely deserve to be in the space, who deserve to be, enjoying this journey and exploring their instrument and developing their voice, but are terrified. So if you think you're alone as someone who's like holding off going to a voice lesson because no, it's terrifying, and then you're like, why is this terrifying? Oh, it's because I'm a bad singer. Let's just not. This is the brain saying, don't go out there, the lion is waiting. That's exactly what it is. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself, to take those steps, to do those things. Of course, you're not going to go play with lions. I'm not saying go to the zoo and jump in the pen. That would be very ridiculous. But challenge yourself. Change starts in the mind, okay? So if you see yourself as trying to make it, you will always see yourself as someone trying to make it. Jim Fortin, okay, this is where we go into a bit of the woo-woo manifestations type thing. And his manifestation process, I don't even know if he uses the word manifestation, but he's more be, do, have, essentially. I think I've talked about this before. Become what you want to be. It's not like you're going to hustle. One day you wake up and it's like a Disney movie and it's like, I have arrived. I'm Taylor Swift now. It doesn't happen like that. You've got to be that person. You've got to create that reality. So you have to believe you deserve to be there as well. So it's taken me, for example, a long time to go from, I want to be a singing teacher. I want to work with singers. And I started out, with little kids, and it got to the point where I was working with artists. And now things are very, very different from where I started. But I had to believe that that's where I belong on the spectrum of voice coaches and what I'm doing and how I do it and all of that stuff. Of course, there's a ton of things that I've done along the way. I've trained with coaches across the planet. I've done tons of different studies in neuroscience and mental health and all of these different things that tie into how I work with the people that I work with. But you have to believe that you deserve to be there. Another thing that really helped with that was going to events where my peers were. So you might be online looking at things like, say, for example, the Canadian Country Music Awards. look at all those people, look at all those successful people at the awards show. If you're working hard at your music and you've invested money and you're doing your training, if you're releasing music, if you fit in a specific landscape, don't be on the outskirts. Don't be an observer. Go meet these people. Go become part of that community, and don't sit outside on your screen watching other people who you perceive to be successful. We're all just doing our best at what we can. Like, that takes me on another tangent of your intention as well. So don't rock up to stuff just being like, I'm a rock star, I'm a legend, I'm an icon, and not having done the legwork, because then you are going to look like a complete muppet. But if you're doing the legwork and you truly believe you've earned space in these arenas, go get it. Don't sit at home thinking about how great you are and feeling sorry for yourself that your moment hasn't happened. Keep getting out there. Keep meeting the right people. Surround yourself with the right crew. Make sure that you've got the right team. Make sure you've got the right knowledge. You do not know what you do not know. And that is the hardest part of it, is there is so much to learn. Everyone is continually learning. That's why you see a lot of people who are at the top of their game traveling to all of these events and networking things and seminars. People are consistently and continually learning. So don't ever feel again that you're going to wake up one day and be like, okay, that's it, I've done it, I'm here, I've arrived, because people who are even at the top of their game still don't feel like I've arrived. I don't know, maybe some people do, but there's a reason why Garth Brooks is always touring. There's a reason why No Doubt are back at the Sphere. Like, there's a reason these people are still doing what they're doing, because they want to keep going. They want to keep challenging themselves. They want to keep growing. They want to connect with their fans. There's that drive. So don't lose the drive. So the motivation will fade. You've probably experienced this. One day you wake up, you're like, this is it. I'm going to do my social media calendar. I'm going to have all my posts ready for the month. Everything's going to be planned. I'm going to do my voice training every day at 9:00 in the morning. I'm going to go to a lesson every week. I'm going to join a retreat. I'm going to go to the seminar. And then 2 months later, when you're not getting the results you wanted, everything just sort of goes, nah. And like, waiting to feel inspired and feel ready can keep you really stuck. The systems are going to create momentum for you. So that, like I said earlier, the brain thrives on routine. So set yourself up with a plan, give yourself environmental cues, like whether that's like motivational things on your laptop. So every time you open your laptop, your screensaver says something or shows an AI Canva thing of you on the stage at Wembley Stadium. Like, I don't care what it is, but keep something motivating you, and doing your consistent vocal workouts, doing consistent marketing habits, consistent writing sessions. Keep writing the crappy songs, because the brilliant song is about to cut through, I promise you. And you will not rise to your goals, you will fall to your habits. That's, again, that upper level limiting stuff, the safety of change. So every repetition of a behavior is going to strengthen a neural pathway. So the more you act like the artist you want to become, the faster your brain is going to wire it as a default. So be that person. You've seen people with star quality and you're like, what is it? What do they have that I don't? Oh, I think I'm an accountant with a part-time hobby. This person thinks they're a musician that has to just show up at an office, which is a pain in the butt as a 9 to 5. But that's just, they're a musician, not an accountant. So shift your thought process. I'm not saying go loopy, don't be delulu, but if you really want to do it, do it. Like, I'm not going to become a world-class dancer ever because I know I cannot do that. But who knows, if I really, really wanted to, and I said to myself, I'm going to become a world-class dancer, I'm not going to become one sitting here doing a podcast about voice and singing and music careers. I'm going to get off my butt and I'm going to start dance lessons, and I'm going to find the best dance coach I can that's within my budget and close to me. I'm going to train and train and train. And when I'm as good as they are, then I'm going to find a better coach and train and train and train with them. And then who knows who I meet along the way, who gives me opportunities along the way. You get where I'm going with this. Don't fear. I'm not going to start a dancing career. You're not going to see me in a sparkly dress spinning around on Dancing with the Almost Stars. Never going to happen. So emotion is also the language of your subconscious. So if you are not emotionally attached to these goals, they're going to be really hard to achieve. You have to know that this is your dream. This is your goal. You got to feel it. You've got to want it. It's got to bring you positive emotions. So if you're practicing stuff and you're not getting it, everything's a challenge. Everything's really hard. If you're coming up against roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, that's a moment where I would encourage you to sit back, journal, make some lists, look at what you've been doing and what maybe needs to be tweaked somehow. I'm a firm believer that when you're on the right path, it's an easy path. And when you're on the wrong path, whoever, whatever, is going to throw sticks in your spokes all day long. My life has never been harder than when I've been on the wrong path, and it's never been more fun and rewarding and easy when I've been on the right path, going in the right direction. So I really wish that for everyone to experience that, and to just be aware that if everything is like, everywhere is a slamming door, everywhere is a no, everywhere is, oh, who are these people that I just got involved with who are actually really negative, or someone just ripped me off, or paid a ton of money and didn't get some, like, which are all very common things in the music industry. Just be like, okay, who am I surrounding myself with? What kind of effort am I putting in? How much am I putting out? Like, am I also supporting others in my community? Or am I just, is it me? Am I taking? Or am I supporting other people? Am I lifting others up when I get the opportunity? Look around for people who are wanting to get to your level. And that's another really good thing that from the subconscious side of things and the emotion side of things is we don't take enough time sometimes to check in and be, how far have I come? And realize sometimes, like sometimes we'll sit down at the end of the year, or we'll get our highlight reels or whatever will come through. We're like, oh, look at all the things I did. But really, look at the things that you did. Look at the work you've put in. Look at the money you've invested. Look at the people you've connected with. And see where you're now at compared to a year, 3 years, 5 years ago. And then think about yourself starting out. And look around and see if there are other people that you can support and lift up as well. Because there's a 5 years ago you somewhere in your circle for sure that you can elevate, support, encourage. And that in itself is going to build your confidence as to who you are, who you've become, how far you've grown, all of that kind of stuff. I shared a post on Instagram the other day it was Taylor Swift talking, excuse me, I need more coffee. Talking about, there was one particular phrase she used that really resonated with me and I thought was brilliant. She's like, if you are experiencing turbulence, it means you are rising. And we can all relate to that metaphor of like being on an airplane, the turbulence comes in, it's absolutely terrifying. Well, it is for me anyway. But you're going somewhere. You're getting there. Okay. This is a brilliant metaphor for this industry or for any kind of success or trajectory in life. Maybe you've felt it when you've got a new job and you got a promotion or something. And it's like, there's the Friday night where you got the promotion. And it's like, yeah, look at me go. And then Sunday night comes and it's like, I've got to step into this role. This is happening. This is now who I am. This is now what I do. I'm more responsible for more things. And that can be really terrifying. That's the kind of turbulence thing. And also in the music industry, and I'm going to do a follow-up episode on jealousy and your inner circle and your outer circle, and how to manage jealousy, envy, all of those kind of things from the inside and the out. But the turbulence can be all manner of things. It can be your personal like anxiety, a bit of nerves about growth, a change, all of that stuff, which like we've talked about is natural. You're supposed to feel a bit scared when things are changing. If you are feeling that fear or resistance, it means you're about to change. You are about to grow. You're about to meet the tiger, but you're going to be okay, because as we know, tigers don't hang out at Safeway or in recording studios, hopefully. So yeah, you're safe. It's okay, but it's natural to feel all of that fear. So the turbulence will come when things are changing. Check out, again, my Instagram, that post, or I'll try and put a link in the show notes too, because it really is a valuable thing to keep in mind. Because if things aren't changing, they are going to stay the same, at the risk of sounding very stupid, but it's a fact. And if things don't feel a little bit scary, things aren't changing. And that's what comes with change, is that little bit of fear, that little bit of turbulence, that kind of pressure, resistance, all of those things. So take that as a really great sign that you are on the right path. Things are moving forward. Change is scary. The brain doesn't like it. So transformation, again, like we said, remember who you already are, remember how far you've already come, and think back to any other times where you've experienced that turbulence, and you've grown through it. Amazing things. Our first days at school, some kids are weird and are like super excited for it, but I think they're just generally excited for the new backpack and the pencil case. But I think most of us, when we remember our first day at school, it was a little terrifying. It was new people, new teacher, your mum's not there all day to hold your hand. Like, it's off you go, little duckling, go see the big bad world. And as we all know, primary school, kindergarten, nursery, however old you were when you started, I think they're pretty safe places. So, we're well looked after, but change is scary. No matter what level you're at in your life, no matter how many times you've done things, if you're going to elevate and move up, it can be scary. So your next level, I don't want you to think about pushing harder, hustling more hours, more time, more struggle. Rewire your brain. I went on a complete tangent, didn't even tell you about Jim Fortin and his be, do, have stuff. I wanted you to think about that. Be it, do it, and then you'll have it. It's as easy as that. She lied. No, the thought process is as easy as that. So I want you to start being who you essentially either are or want to be, if it's genuine. And you'll know right quick if it's not genuine. If you just want to be famous, if you just want to be rich, if you just want to be adored online, you're going to get the sticks in your spokes are going to come at you right quick when this isn't genuine, when this isn't real, when this isn't honest, when this isn't something of a give and receive. When you're not lifting others, you are going to feel that. But when you are on the right path, it's going to flow. Another thing I want to talk about really quick before we part, an amazing artist that I work with, Braden King, he has put together some massive tours, and by massive I mean like massive legwork. He is on a stage almost every single night somewhere in Canada, working his butt off. And some people would be like, okay, he's doing that. That's great, but it's small bars, whatever. It's growing and growing because he's doing it. And you need to look at this as from the be, do, have mentality of he's doing it. He wakes up every day. He's performing his music. He's training his voice. He's with his band. He's going to different venues. He's building his fan base. He's meeting new fans. He's streams are going up because people are now discovering him because he's out there. Every day he wakes up and he's doing what he loves. And this is only going to grow and get bigger and better for him because he's be, do, have. He is being who he is as an artist. He is doing the work as an artist. And look at him. Probably tonight, if you look him up, he's probably on a stage somewhere in Canada performing. He is always out there doing it. And if this is what you want your life to be, start doing it. Find the avenues to get in at the level that you are at and start growing from there. Find the rung on the ladder and start climbing, start doing it, because you can if you commit to it and you are coming at it from a genuine place. You're doing the work, you're doing the training. Like I said, just rocking up into a room thinking you're the shit is not gonna get you very far for very long. So you do need the foundation, but I just want you to know that if you're working super, super hard, be aware of the stories that you're telling yourself. I have another client, lovely artist, great, talented, beautiful voice, but has been telling herself and her audience, I'm late to the game for this. I'm coming in older than everyone else. I only just started. And the only just started was actually now 5 years ago. So she's wired her brain to believe that maybe she doesn't deserve to be on that stage, and she's training her audience to hear that she's just new at it. She's not as good as she could be. Please forgive me for taking up space on this stage right now because I'm older and I've only been doing this for a little while. So essentially, maybe you should probably go do something else while I'm on for my set. Like, it's wild. Like, be careful what your story is, what you're telling yourself, what you're telling your audience. If Sabrina Carpenter got on stage and was all scared and shy and nervous, it would look very odd. You got to own your space, own your story, find your lane. And again, these are all things, if you're interested in the 360 artist development, we can look at your voice, the industry, performance side of things, booking gigs, your brand, your mindset behind all of this, and get you to that point where you find exactly where you are on the ladder and get you keep going up, but lifting others up as you go. Anyways, I hope that wasn't too much of a rant. I'm going to have more coffee and then I'm going to record the next one on jealousy and envy, where I might get a bit spicy, so heads up on that one. But just trust yourself. I think really listen to the stories that you're telling yourself and what you're training your audience to believe about you, and make sure it's exactly what you deserve and what you want people to know about you. And trust me, if there's sticks in the spokes, pay attention to that. Go back, reflect, journal, write, and then find your path. I want to talk to you about this. Please feel free to email me, emma@rocketvocalstudios.com. Go on Instagram, send me a DM. Would love to chat about this and where you're at in your journey and how you feel, if any of this resonates with you. If it's complete rubbish, fair enough, drop it. Take what you want, drop what you don't. Here for you to support you every step of the way, and I hope this has helped. Take care, have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe. It helps other listeners just like you discover the show. Also, I'd love you to follow along on social media. It's Rocket Vocal Studios. That's ROCKIT Vocal Studios. If you have any questions at all, I am here for you and your voice. Email me, emma@rocketvocalstudios.com. Would love to chat. If you ever want a session, if you want to nerd out about the voice, I am here for you. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day. We'll see you next time.